So the main information, the main place you will find is on the website. I have to say, especially for the people who is not English speaker today, that we are working on having the website and all the documents in different languages, but it's going to take some maybe days or weeks, but it's going to be soon. And but most of the most important documents are already translated, and you can find it on the application platform in the different languages. So we will have a look. First of all, we are going to have a look on the website to just check a little bit where can we find the documents and where is the place where we can look for the platform for the application. Once we open the application platform, we are going to see that it's, again, the most important documents are already there, again, to let us know that we have to read it before starting our application. So the first document we are going to check is the one related to the finance guidance. And also then we are going to have a look on the application guidance. And finally, we're going to see how is the FlexiGrant guidance. The FlexiGrant is the platform where you have to do your application. So even if in the FlexiGrant you will find a document with all the questions and it's a Word document where you can work in your project if you want to do it. It's the documents on Word are not received for the application, so you have to do your application through the FlexiGrant platform. So the application guidance, it's the most important one you have to check. I know that sometimes it's a very long document that sometimes we prefer to just look on transversal way, like just read some, but it's so important that you keep an eye on that document because all the information that you need to know for the application is there. In case you don't find something, or in case that something is not very well explained or you cannot understand very well, for sure you can contact the team. We are going to be able to answer whatever you need. But most of the information are already in all these documents. So I think that I'm going to share my screen to go in again to the website. And as you can see in the website, you have directly at the very beginning of the website, you have the place where you can apply directly and go into the platform. But if you want to read a little bit more about some of the grants, now we are talking about the community grants, remember. So we are going to click on the community grants, and you can check a little bit more about the information, the most specific things that you need to know. And here you will find already a document that I was talking about. So the guidance for applicants, the guidance of how to use the FlexiGrant platform, and the finance guidance. So all those documents are here. There is another document that is coming, is the monitoring and evaluation and learning guidance. That it's going to be during the next month. And if we want to, after check the documents, we still have any questions, we can contact the help desk. And if we are ready to do our application, we can visit the application portal. So once we go to the portal, the FlexiGrant, you will have a little bit of introduction to remind what is the fund about. And as I said before, one of the first things you will check, and you have here to check, is the list of the eligible country. So again, be sure that your country is on the list. And just then you can find again all the documents that we were talking about. So let's have a look a little bit on the documents. It's not the time for have a very specific view on that, but just to share with you the guidance for applicants is a 53-page documents. You can find here in the summary that you will find most of the information that you will need to know about eligibility criteria, selection criteria, what are the topics that you can apply, that you can use in your projects, and what other requirements are important for us to keep in mind when you write your project, and how to report, how is going to be the evaluation of the project, the report, and all that kind of information that it's going to be so useful to understand how to do your best application. So this is why it is so important to read this document, because that's going to give you a lot of ideas about how to structure your application. If we go back, we will see the finance guidance. So in that guidance, it's so important that you will find how you can split your budget, like what kind of items you can split in your budget about how to use the money that you receive from the grant. So this is so important, but at the and Nicola, let me know if I'm wrong, but I think that at the stage one of the application, you don't need to be very specific about the budget distribution. So you just need to know and keep in mind that in case you go to the second stage, you will have to complete a structure about how to split the money, but it's important to keep that in mind. So I know that, and we have received some questions about how much money can I apply for. So if we go back to the presentation with Nico, we are going to test a little bit about if we are sure about how much money can we apply for, because if we already know that the community grants are up to 250,000, it's not that every organization can apply for that amount of money. So first of all, it's so important to understand that the maximum money that you can apply is the 50% of your last 2 years' incomes average. So that means that if depending of how much income or what was the income of your organization, that will decide how much money you can apply for. And this is so important to understand, because for the application, we will ask for the report of the incomes for the last year. So you have to share your financial report with us. So let's see if this idea is well understood, because at least in my case, I'm very bad on maths. It takes a long time to understand. So let's check if you can answer in the chat, please. If we have a project for 3 years and we have 75,000 for the first year, 125,000 and 50,000, how much annual income does my organization need to demonstrate? Let's see in the chat if someone wants to answer to that question. Okay, let's see if we have someone else who wants to. Okay. Okay. Yes, it's going to be the average for 2 years, for the last 2 years, but how much should be this average to apply for that amount of money? Okay, I have to say that if Rachel can join me, that no one's give us the correct answer yet.
I don't think so yet, no.
So Rachel, can you help us to think a little bit about how to calculate, without giving the answer, but how to calculate the answer?
Yes. So your organization would be assessed. In this case, over a 3-year project, we look at the largest amount that you're applying for in 1 year. So you would be assessed on, in this case, the year 2 amount of 125,000. So you would need to demonstrate an average over the last 2 years of showing that you've got that the 125,000, sorry, would be 50% of your income as an average over the last 2 years.
I saw someone share the correct answer, but I want to see if after Rachel's explication, someone or more people can give us the answer, the correct one. Okay. So Teresa and Jenna are right. And I would love to understand how the rest of the people arrive to the other amounts, because it's going to be great to understand how are you calculating that. But as Rachel said, the average of the last 2 years, it should be at least the double amount of the maximum that you are applying for. So in that case, the correct answer is 250. Remember that we have the Q&A section working. So if you are not understanding very well about how to calculate this amount, just write your question on the platform. Rachel, do you want to have a look on the last answer we have?
Yeah, so the total amount obviously that someone's applying for here is 250,000. We just make an assessment based on the highest amount they're applying for in 1 year. So the highest amount would be year 2, 125,000. So they need to demonstrate.
Oh, we lost Rachel.
Double that, so it would be 250,000.
Rachel, would you mind repeating, because your internet cut out just halfway through your explanation?
Oh no, sorry. So yes, I'm not sure, sorry, where it cut off, so I'll say that again. So the total amount that someone would be applying for here would be 250,000. We make an assessment based on the highest amount for 1 year, which is the 125,000. So we would need, that would be 50% of the income we'd need to see demonstrated. So the average for the 2 years, and we need to see an average income of 250,000. Hopefully my internet held out for that.
Yeah, thanks, Rachel.
Okay, we will test if it has been understood or not. So let's go to the next slide. We have another math exercise. Okay, so someone wants to apply for a project asking for 250,000 pounds just for the first year, just for 1 year.
A one-year project.
1 year project, exactly. So how much do they have to demonstrate that the organization average has as income for the last 2 years? Okay, that was easy one. Okay. Good. We still have people in the chat that are not very well understanding. So please, before submit your application, if you have any question about how to calculate the amount you can apply for, just send an email to us. So it's so important to understand that it's not about how the grant, what is the maximum for the grant. It's more like it depends on your organization. It depends on the average of the last 2 years' incomes of your organization. So looking at that, if your organization have that amount of money, you have to think that it should be at least the 50% of that amount. Okay.
Yeah, so it's very important to think about how much you're going to spend each year of your project. So for this example, it's 1 year, so very easy to work out. But if you're splitting your project between 3 years, and you might be spending the most of your budget in year 2, then you should use that amount to work out your annual income needs.
Okay, let's see the next slide. That's going to be a little bit more difficult to calculate. It's a math exercise.
So this is a 4-year project.
Yeah. So we have 4-year projects here. They are asking for the 20,000, 150,000, 50,000, and 20,000. So how much annual income does my organization need to demonstrate here? Okay. Okay. Okay, still have some people given different answers, but yes, the answer is 300,000 in that case. You can be proud, Rachel, of the participants that are understanding now. So I know it's a little bit repetitive, but please, Rachel, can you just explain for the last time for the people who is sharing with us different amounts of money, why in that case is 300?
Yeah, so again, we just look at the year which has the highest amount that's being requested. So year 2 has the highest amount. So we'd need the 150,000 to be 50%, no more than 50% of the annual income. So if we were looking at the 100% of that would be 300,000. So
Yes.
I think a lot of people found it easier when it was just a 1-year project. So if the project split over multiple years, we're looking at the year with the highest amount requested.
Yeah, and for just to share another way of working this out, you look at your annual breakdown. You choose the year with the highest amount of budget, and then you can multiply that budget by 2, and that's how much you need to show for your average income. So this case, it would be year 2 is the highest, so it's 150,000 times 2.
Yeah, so just to answer Iman that has right in the chat, that technically not 300 because the amount of maximum is 250, 100. It's different things. The maximum amount that you can apply for is 250, but it's going to depend about how you use this 250. If you use 1 year or in 4 years, how do you use this amount of money? This is the maximum in total of all your project is 250. So it depends on how you use it, how do you split that amount of money, how much do you have to demonstrate. So in that case, the 300 is the amount that you have to demonstrate. It's not the amount that you can apply for. Okay.
Shall we move on? Or?
Yeah, let's do. There are a lot of questions in the chat. So please share your questions in the questions and answers section, because that's going to be the best way to don't lose them. So let's do in the opposite direction. So let's think that your organization can demonstrate that during the last 2 years, the average of incomes are 50,000. So how much can I apply for? Okay, that's perfect. That's amazing. So this is so much easy to calculate for you. So let's check your financial report for the last 2 years, do the average, and then as Nicola said before, just multiply it for 2. No, split it in 2, and then you will see how much you can apply.
This time it's the opposite, as you would do from working from your project budget. So if you're looking at your annual organization's income, You've got
Exactly.
£50,000 income on average. So you would divide that by 2. So the answer would be 25,000 per year. It would be the maximum amount you could apply for each year.
Exactly. So
Not in total. That's the thing to work out for. So you could have a 4-year project, and you maybe want to split your budget evenly between the years. So you could apply for £25,000 for each of your 4 years.
exactly. So as Craig say in the chat, you can apply for 3 years having 75, and it's you don't have to demonstrate that you have the double of 75. You just need to demonstrate that you have the double of the maximum amount for the highest amount of one of the years. So let's do the calculation. If you have any question on that, just came to the team, ask us. Rachel is going to be happy to answer the emails. And I think it's a little bit difficult to understand, but once you take it, it's easier because you just thinking, as I say, I think that the easiest way to do it is just calculate your average from the last 2 years. And then you know how is the maximum amount that you can apply for 1 year. So it doesn't mean that this is the maximum amount that you can apply for the whole project, because you can use this amount for different years.
Yeah. So just a reminder to people, I know there are a few other questions coming up in the chat, but if you pop them into the Q&A section instead, we'll be able to cover those at the end and try to resolve those. And if you see any questions in the Q&A section that you think you would really like to see answered, remember to upvote them, and we'll cover the ones in order of number of votes. But we will try our best to get through them all.
Okay, so coming back to the application process, as I said, it's so important to have a look on the documents and be sure about understanding all this finance guidance. And in case someone has any questions, you can send us an email to the help desk, Ocean Grants or UK email.